Hi and welcome to NET Vaper Reviews. Today is part 2 of questions and answers on all vaping relating issues and information. If you watched part 1, you know how this came about. I'll say it in brief again. A local vape shop has arranged a question and answer evening. So quite a lot of new vapers came in to ask questions about mods, kits and devices and liquids, and to get an idea of what's all vaping about. And I tried to answer as much as I can at that time, but there was a lot of questions unanswered and a lot of questions I couldn't answer properly. So I took down from them all those questions I wrote down, and I said I will do a recording addressing those issues. And also, when I gave out my email on part 1, I'm quite surprised. There's a huge demand for information, from the most basic to the more advanced. It seems that a lot of new vapers lack a way to get that information. So in a way, I'm happy I gave out my email address that I could address these problems, and I hope that my answers are sufficient. Now, if I give an answer that is not accurate, please, and you know the accurate answer for it, please put it below for the benefit of myself and others. So without further ado, we'll start part 2. I hope this will take quicker than part 1, but there is quite a lot of questions to answer, and I truly hope we'll get through them as quick as possible. If will need be for part 3, so be it. Those who sent me the email obviously need answers, and perhaps you, the viewer, will benefit from that information as well. Okay, so without wasting more time, let's go straight to part 2, and the first question is from Martin. I want to start vaping NETs. It sounds so good on your reviews. Which company do you recommend, and what is your favorite NET? Well, the answer to that is, if you live in the UK, I vape juicecabin.com, bestsigliquid.co.uk and drakesliquid.com. All three are excellent naturally extracted tobacco producers, and I vape them constantly. In America, you've got, and in Europe, Black Note. That was my bread and butter from the day I started vaping. And they've got a very nice variety. All those that I just mentioned, I got reviews on my channel on all those liquids. And there's another company called naturallyextractedtobacco.com who produce very a quite large selection of top quality naturally extracted tobacco. They are more on the bolder side, more on the full-bodied type of tobaccos, but they are top quality. I will come to their company in a minute, because I noticed a question about naturallyextracted.com on the lack of customer service. I will come to that later on. What is my favorite naturally extracted tobacco? They're all my favorites. I vape in the morning very bold ones from naturallyextractedtobacco.com and from all the companies I just mentioned. Black Note has got only 2 that are very bold. One is the cigar, the new one, and I have a review on it, and the Quartet. Both are excellent. They're all my favorite. Okay, next question. Chris, I vape on a starter kit. I want to upgrade to a RTA mouse to long. What RTA would you recommend, and what is your favorite RTA? Well, the first part of your question is important. If you're already vaping on a starter kit, you want to go to a fairly simple RTA. meaning that it's forgiving on the wicking and very easy to put in a coil. The thing that comes to mind, the device that comes to mind to me straight away is the Inikin Ares, I think it's called. Inikin Ares, ARES. It's a 24mm RTA. It's one of the easiest RTAs to build on, and it's very, very competitively priced. They build good quality like all Inikins. I do recommend that RTA as an upgrade from a starter kit, and after you get the hang of it, then you can go to more complex RTAs, like all those I reviewed on my channel. You can watch them. Those need to be more. You need to be a bit more careful with the wicking. The K-Fons are quite forgiving on the wicking, but those are very high end. The budget price RTAs, the ones that I've got mid budget, like £30, £40, all I reviewed on my channel. You can watch them there. What is my favorite RTA? All my favorites. As I said, I can't go through now with the pros and cons of each RTA. I've vaped them all the time. I mean, for instance, now I've got the K-Fon Light, and I've got here as well the Brunhilde. So every time I switch and change, each one has got a different tobacco. That is my way of doing things. Right, I've got a question from Sid. I upgraded from a starter kit to an RTA. I watched your reviews on the Brunhilde and I like the looks of the tank and I bought it. I have a problem with this tank. First, I get sometimes burnt flavor, but then it disappears after a few vapes, especially when the tank is below half full. Please advise. That is a good question because I experienced the same problem and I discovered, and it's good I've got the tank here, I can explain to you on the camera itself. If you look in the tank, you'll see two rods going down this tank. These rods, when you tilt the tank to vape, they take the liquid up to your deck. As we all know that the deck on the Brunhilde is on the top, not on the bottom like most RTAs are. So what brings up the liquid is those two rods. Now when the tank is full, any small tilt will bring the liquid to your cotton. But as the tank goes emptier, you need to tilt it a lot further. So when you vape it, always before you vape, just give it a few minutes, a few seconds even, just a real tilt, and then you have no problem. If you leave it overnight and it's half empty, do not leave it upright. Leave it this way. In the morning you'll have properly saturated cotton. If you leave it upright, it will dry. So that's the solution for this Brunhilde, and enjoy the tank. It's an excellent tank. Yep. And I've got a review on it if you want to watch it. Another question is from Farouk. If you don't mind, I need your help. I decided to give a RTA a go, but I'm not sure if I will be able to build the tank properly. It seems complicated, although it seems fairly straightforward on your reviews. I am vaping on the moment on a Vaporesso Drizzle Fit kit with the 1.3 ohm coil. Please advise. Well, it's similar question to who was it? Was it Chris? Yes, it was a similar question to Chris. I advise you to go also to Inikin Ares. It's very easy to build. If you can watch I'm sure you can find on many platforms how to build that tank. It's very easy. I mean, you just have to open the screws on the deck, put in the coil, cut it. Okay, I'm not going to go through now the stages of building a deck. What I'm going to do, Farouk, I will send you an email with a short recording of any of my tanks that I'm going to have to rewick, and then I'll explain to you more in detail so I will email you direct. Okay. And by the way, the Vaporesso drizzle kit is a quite very good starter kit for anyone who wants to look for a starter kit. Among others, I think in part 1 I mentioned a few, and the Vaporesso is a very good one as well. Okay, this question is from Ewan. Ewan. I think I'm spelling it correctly. Awan. Awan. Okay. It writes, I buy liquids online and 9 out of 10 I do not like the flavor I chose. I do not have the time to go to a vape shop. What is your advice, and what is your favorite dessert flavor? Again, my favorite. So, okay, we'll come to that in a minute. But it seems to me that by the second question is about the dessert, it means that you're looking for dessert flavors. Well, welcome to the club. I mean, anyone who buys an e-liquid online is taking a chance. Sometimes when you watch reviews on liquids, it can be very good to the reviewer, but when it comes to your own taste preference, it might not be as good as he thought it was. It's a very personal thing, taste. So what if you go online is no option but to have a look at most reviewers. I mean, there is a universal flavor acceptance. Most people like certain things. So if you're like, let's say, strawberry cheesecake, so then you look at the most reviews, if they're favorable or not, and then you take a chance if you like it or not. I've got a box full of liquids that I bought at the beginning and I gave them away, and then still do. Sometimes I buy a liquid and I give them away. So this is part and parcel of buying online. When you go into a vape shop, they give you these sample tanks that you can try it. Although you won't get the full accurate taste if you're vaping it on a good RTA or a good mouth to long stock tank, because normally they don't change the wick so often, and it's a very cheap coil, and a lot of people vape it, and it's not most accurate flavor, but you get the idea. So if you haven't got time to go into a vape shop, then you just have to search on this liquid and take a chance. There's no other way of doing it. What is my favorite dessert flavor? I've got quite a few favorite lately dessert flavors that I'm going to review either before this, after this one. Naming of just a few. The Elder King from Vaping with Vic, the Basic Liquid Dew. I'm going to have a review on it. I also, from Juice Cabin, I vaped lately strawberry and custard. Very nice indeed. Although I did tweak it a bit. And most of all, I like the one I got mixed for myself. You can see my review on it. It's the liquid that someone mixed it especially for me with the flavors I love, and since then I do it myself, and it's my favorite. I can show you the bottle. This is my most favorite liquid of all times. I haven't got a name for it, but you can watch my review. It's a cinnamon red hot and vanilla custard and English toffee. Absolutely delicious. I left a recipe on the website, on the review for that liquid, so you can do it yourself and let me know what you think. I'm nearly sure you'll like it. Okay, another question from Raul. I want to change from sub-ohm to RDA. What do you recommend? Yeah, okay, so let me say this. Today's sub-ohms with the mesh coils you would not notice a massive difference between the flavors of an RDA and a good quality sub-ohm coil. The only difference you will notice is that your coils will last much longer, If you change your wick and you clean your coils, the coils will last much longer, and that is a major factor because coils can be expensive, those mesh 0.3 ohm coils, sub-ohm coils. And also the flavor, you will keep it at its peak by changing the wick every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days. I change my naturally extracted every 2 days and the fruit every week or something like that, or when I change the flavor. If you want a good RDA, I can only vouch for the RDAs I have vaped. I can't sample review everything. Most of my gear, all the gear I buy, I do not get it from manufacturers or suppliers or whatever. So you can look at my channel and see all the RDAs that I have reviewed. If you want, send me an email in regards of any particular one, or if something they haven't reviewed, maybe I can give you more information. So send me another email and I'll reply to that. Okay, another question is from Isaac. I am on 25-30 cigs per day. Watching your videos, you convinced me to start vaping. Nice. Should I go for a starter kit or rebuildable? I think it's Isaac or Isaac, I'm not sure. Thank you very much for what you just said. I mean, that was my channel all about, to help smokers to quit smoking. Should you go for a starter kit or rebuildable? The answers for that, for sure, are a starter kit. If you're never vaped before, I do not recommend to go straight an RTA. I recommend you go first a basic starter kit, the most basic starter kit there is. As I mentioned in part 1, 3 companies spring to mind, 4 actually. Inokin, Aspire, Smock, and Vaporesso. That come to mind, and UL for all-in-one kit. I really answered that in part 1, but I definitely think you should go for a starter kit. You can go to Inokin. They've got a very good starter kits. I think they are the Coroma R slide or the Adapt slide, or if you want to go back to basics, as a first starter kit, the Endura series, the T18-2 or the T20S. You can go to all-in-one kits like the UL Caliburn, but that you need to change pods, not coils. You can go to Aspire Zealous with Zealous 2. They've got an excellent 1.8 ohm coil, and the Inokin have got 1.6. And you can even use the Inokin Mesh 0.48 or 0.8 mesh coils on a mouth-to-lung settings on the airflow. You can watch my reviews, the ones I reviewed on my channel. If you need more help, drop me an email and I will help you that further. Okay, next question is from Nicholas. I find it most stressful when I need to travel. What kit and how much liquid and how many coils, etc. Please advise. Well, yes, when I go away, I take with me, I'll put it this way. When I go on holiday, what I do is like this. I put in the name of the hotel in a GPS, or either in Google Maps or in Waze, whatever GPS you use, and then I put a vaping shop in that area where I'm going to stay. Let's say you're going to France, wherever you're going, any place in the world, just put vaping shop in that area, and then it'll come up with a list. Most places where vaping is legal. I mean, in some places, not to believe that vaping is illegal, but smoking is legal. And this, I don't want to even start going down that path. It's not for today. But if you put in and you'll come up a vape shop address, see what's the distance between there and your hotel. If it's not far, then take only with you the liquids that you vape, that you enjoy vaping, And otherwise, if you haven't got no preference on what liquid you vape, then you could always buy more liquid in that vape shop. But what I do is, since I take with me my NETs, so I take around 100 ml for a normal stay of a week to 10 days, 2 weeks even, working on an assumption that I use roughly 10 ml per 2 days on a mouth to lung, and I take with me also a few evening fruit or dessert flavors. I take with me a stock oil tank for backup. I take with me all-in-one like the Smok Nord or the Caliburn UL or the Smok Fetch. I take that as for the journey itself, to the plane, from the plane, that sort of thing, where you want a stealthy device. And I take with me all the tools necessary for the wicking and for the coiling. I take cotton, of course. Just bear in mind that when you take liquid, you can only take 100 ml in your handbag, carry-on bag. If you have more, put them in a suitcase. Do not leave your gear, meaning tanks, mods, anything expensive in the suitcase. How many times one loses a suitcase? Keep them in your handbag. That's what I do. If I lose my gear, my holiday is gone. So I always keep it with me. Also, I keep my most expensive devices on me. One in my pocket, one in my jacket, one I give to my wife. I keep it with me. So you have to be careful with these things, but basically think of it as you're going from home to home. What would you use at home? Work it out, take it. It's not heavy. Whatever you took, you have extra, you bring back. Always take with me extra 2 rebuildable coils, extra stock oil for the tank backup I took, and that is it, more or less. And enjoy your holiday. Yeah. And don't get stressed about it. Just put them in you get today these travel kits, bags. I think I'll go delivery. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, and enjoy your holiday. And that was the question for Nicholas. The next question is from Ramilios. I suffer from high blood pressure and I smoke a packet a day. Will vaping help me to reduce blood pressure? This is a question that I noticed it when I opened the email. Most of the emails, if I see that they're more or less straightforward, I carry on. But when I see that there is an email that needs a bit of searching, I search for it. I couldn't answer this on my own. I'm not a doctor. So I went online and I found a study by Dr. Riccardo Polosa. I think I quoted him on part 1 from the University of Catania, Italy, and he writes, a study looked at patients with hypertension, high blood pressure, who smoked cigarettes only, vaped only, or reduced cigarettes use but also vaping. They were clear. The smokers who really reduced or eliminated cigarettes consumption by vaping had significant reduction in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So basically that is confirming that it does indeed reduce blood pressure. So there you go. Here's got your answer, that vaping does help to reduce blood pressure as if you stop smoking. I just want to read 1 second. He has done other work examining the effects of vaping, including a study that found that eliminating or reducing smoking with e-cigarette actually reversed damage from smoking in asthmatic patients. So obviously when you start vaping, and so it's as if you stop smoking and your body is starting to recover, so your blood pressure will go down. But I must emphasize that exercise is very important for blood pressure. We're a group of runners. We do a lot of running, a few times a week, and on occasion we take with us people who are overweight and very unfit, and a lot of them are smokers. And we call it the 5-kilometer goal. And I will cut the story short. When these people achieve the goal of jogging for 5 kilometers, their blood pressure, the cholesterol, even if they're still smoking, has gone down. So if you stop smoking and you do exercise, it will go down even further, no doubt about it. But I just wanted to see a confirmation from a doctor before I answered your question. And there's another question that I also took a quote of this doctor. The next question is a bit more practical. This is from Tina. Would I gain weight if I stop smoking and start vaping? We all know that when you stop smoking, your body has got a tremendous craving for nicotine. And to replace that, a lot of people revert to eating. Now, with vaping, it takes the place of the cigarettes, it replaces the cigarette. So you would not gain weight. And to prove that, the same doctor, Ricardo Polosa, writes, found that the smokers who use e-cigarettes have limited their post-cessation weight gain, meaning stopping weight gain, substantially compared to ex-smokers who don't vape. The trivial post-cessation weight gain after switching to regular e-cigarettes use might have contributed to the positive long-term effects of smoking cessation on BP and BP control, they concluded. So there you go. You will not gain weight by vaping. In fact, you will keep your weight in check as if you were smoking. Instead of smoking, you're vaping. It's the same idea, but a 95% minimum healthier way. So you're not going to gain weight, so you can carry on vaping. Okay, and also exercise helps to that as well. You burn a lot more calories by doing exercise. Okay, the next question is a bit more involved. This is from Francis. What is the recommended wattage for a 0.5 ohm coil, and how do I know what is my recommended wattage for my rebuildable coil? So this question needs addressing a few minutes, because a stock coil has got the wattage on it. You will see wattage X to X, let's say 16 to 18 watts, recommended 15, yeah? But when you come to rebuildable, you need to know something about resistance versus voltage, and you have to work out your Ohm's law. But there is today, thankfully, an easier way to do it. And the guideline should be 1 ohm and above, 1 ohm below. So anything above 1 ohm, you cannot vape really more than, let's say, 18 watts. So a 1 ohm will be between 13 to 18 watts, a 1 ohm and above. The higher you go, the lower the wattage. The lower you go, the higher the wattage. So on that basis, you can work out roughly. Online, you got a lot of charts who will give you the accurate wattage per coil. If you Google search, I've got this and this rebuildable coil, 0.3 ohm coil, what wattage, you'll come up with the answers. But to give you a guideline, I'll do it very quickly. 1 ohm is between 13 to 18. Anything above, let's say 1.1, 1.2, you go down 1 digit. So 1.1, let's say 17. 1.2 is 16. 1.3 is 15. 1.5, 1.6 till 1.8, I think is between 10 to 14, something like that. Below the 1 ohm, then you're going up and up and up. So when you come to 0.5, you're talking about a maximum wattage of 35, something like that. A 0.6, I would say 30, a 0.7, 25, something like that. 0.8, similar, 22 watts, 20 watts, between 20 to 25 watts. And below 0.2, then you're talking about 60, 70, 80, 90, you can go up to 100 watts. Yeah, so that's more or less the answer. If if you search it on Google, you will come up with the accurate charts for the resistance and voltage, wattage, so you'll get the idea. But 1 ohm should always be your guide. So 0.5 to answer your question. 0.5 is between, I would say, to be for sure accurate, between 25 and 35 is the recommended wattage. One more thing, there is mods today that they got a smart chip. I think the Gen from Vaper and the newest mods that when you put on, you can change a setting in the tank. It's called a smart, I can't remember the full, it's a smart option. That means that it will read your coil and tell you what's the recommended wattage for it on rebuildables. On stock coils, you know the wattage is written on the coil. Okay, Freddy has asked a question. How do I know how much 72 milligrams nicotine to add to a 50 ml short fill for different nic levels? I answered that question in part 1. There is a chart that you can get how much 72 milligrams nicotine to add to a 50 ml short fill. If let me just say one thing. I'm not going into where you can get the 72 milligram nicotine. You can search it on Google and you'll come up to websites who can sell this product. Either it's sold to private or to business. You have to do your own search. But when it comes to 50 mil and you want to turn it into a 3, you add a nic shot. If you want to make it into 6, you add two shots. When it comes to if you want higher nicotine level, then 72 milligram of nicotine will come in play. So like this, you don't dilute your 50 mil or whatever bottle you want to get the nicotine shot the right level. For 10 mil, if you would have wanted to make it into a 12 and the 10 mil is 0, you'd have to add 20 mil of 18 milligram nicotine shots. So where you can have a 30 mil diluted juice. So the only viable option is to add the nicotine through the 72 milligram strength. So then you add only 1 point something mil, 1.7 mil I think for 10 mil to make it into a 12. So there is charts on bestsegliquid.co.uk. You've got a very good chart there that will tell you exactly how much you have to add. And if you buy from them liquids, they even put on the bottle how much you need to add to make it to what you chose the nicotine level to be. Okay, next question is from Freya. Why do I chain vape all day, but when I smoked, I knew how much cigarettes I smoked? This is a very good question, and the answer for it is quite straightforward. You need to up your nicotine level. What happens is, with cigarettes, the delivery of the nicotine is, if you look over a period, let's say, of 10 hours. So if it peaks after you smoked, and then it starts going down. Then it peaks again, and then starts going down again. So while it's going down, you don't have a craving for cigarette. But as soon as it reaches the bottom, you need a craving, and then it peaks again, and then it gives you an hour each smoker to his own, how long between the peaks. Vaping works in a different way. Vaping is more or less constant delivery of nicotine, and because the delivery of nicotine is a bit slower than from a cigarette, and it's a different method. It's not the smoke. Apparently the nicotine in the tobacco leaf goes into your bloodstream a lot faster than through the vapor. So that's why you're chain vaping, because you're not getting enough nicotine. So you need to up. If you're vaping on 3, go up to 6. If you're vaping at 6, go up to 9. If a 9, go up to 12, and then you realize that you're not chain vaping. And that is the question to your answer. Yeah. I need a drink. I'm trying to answer them as quick as I can, so like this I could get into this part 2 as much as I can, because quite a lot of emails arrived and arriving. Okay, Oscar is asking a very similar question to Freya. He's asking, why do I get headaches and dry mouth when vaping? Well, the answer to that is the opposite that I just answered. You are vaping on too high nicotine and too high on the PG. PG causes dryness of the mouth. VG is a much easier on your mouth. It's less harsh. Higher nicotine, if you're overdoing it, you get headaches. Also, you might be a bit allergic to PG. So what I suggest is to take, the minimum is 50-50. The recommended for you is 70 VG, 30 PG, and lower your nicotine a bit. If you're vaping 12, go down to 9. If you've got the 72 milligram option to do, that you can tailor make your nicotine intake. But if not, and they only sell it on 6, so what you can do, you buy one, if you like this particular flavor, buy 1 6, 1 12, mix them together, you get a 9, or just go down to 6. Yes, in the beginning you might chain vape, but then if you see that your headaches are disappeared, you will know that I'm correct. It's to do with your nicotine level. So then the only option is to buy them 0 milligrams or 6 milligrams. If you vape 12, buy them on a 6, and then add to make it a 9. You work out how much you need to make a 0 into 3. You've got already 6, and just add those few drops to make it a 3. So you get 3 and 6, you get a 9. I hope you understood what I mean. Yeah, if someone has got, let's say you buy a liquid of 6 and it's not strong enough, what do? You want to make it a 9. So you work out how much you need to make it a 3. Just forget it was for a minute a 6. How much you need to make a 50 ml a 3. You add that, but really you've got already 6 there. So 6 and 3 makes it 9. That's the simple way of doing it. And that's my answer to your question. Right, I need a vape. Okay, Thomas is asking a question that I know very well the answer to it. Thomas asking, how can I give up my morning cigarette with the coffee? Among other things, he was saying here that he enjoys my reviews, and he's thinking already about vaping quite a long time, and he can't come to that decision. It's very difficult for him, and especially how, and then he says, especially how can I give up my morning cigarette with the coffee? Well, I'll give you a simple answer to that. We all ex-smokers know how important the coffee in the morning with a cigarette is. It's the time of reflection. It's this time that you're thinking what you're going to do. It's the time of taking a minute off your busy morning. You're just relaxing. You can do the exact same thing with vaping. But I do recommend that in the mornings you should choose bolder tobaccos. You can go on my channel and see a lot of them are naturallyextractedtobacco.com, and some of them are from Bessic Liquid. He's got some lovely Periques, lovely Latikias, and you mix them a bit with a Virginia. It's delicious. You've got from Black Note the Quartet and the Cigar. You've got from Juice Cabin, he's got lovely bold tobaccos, Periques, Latikias, and all types of more bolder types of tobacco. Those are very good in the morning. And Drake's has also got from the Tobacco Fusion, they've got this coffee naturally extracted tobacco. It is absolutely delicious with the morning coffee. I don't know when you're going to watch the review on the tobacco, before this upload or after, but I vape it non-stop in the morning. And I vape a lot on naturallyextracttobacco.com, bold ones like the Bombay and the Light Crisp Blend. You can watch my reviews. Those were made right in the beginning, when I used to review those liquids in the garden. Yes, that was a good time when I still do enjoy those liquids very much. And from all the companies I mentioned, choose the bolder ones for the mornings, and during the day you can vape on the Virginias. Yep, that's you will not miss the cigarette. Believe me, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I enjoy my coffee in the mornings in the garden with my vape now more than I used to enjoy the cigarettes. Cigarettes it's smoke flavor, and after a while, when you stop smoking, you will understand to appreciate the delicate flavors of each tobacco liquid, each tobacco leaf, and his own character, and you'll enjoy the tobacco flavor without the smoke ruining it. The reason why you enjoyed so much the cigarette with the coffee is the nicotine used to calm you down. So, and the smoke flavor. Yeah, the smoke flavor is also a factor, but you will enjoy the tobacco flavors without the smoke, 95% healthier. And if I'm already talking about 95% healthier, they just came out on the 4th of March. Public Health England came up with the benefits of vaping versus smoking. I will leave the link below to what they found, and they still very firmly say that that e-cigarette is the best option for smokers to quit. I will put it in the link below. I hope I'll be able to cut and paste it. If you see it there, it means I managed. And you would be able to check out the website. If by any chance I can't do it, and you'll see in the comments below there's no link, so go to www.gov.uk/government/news/false fears preventing smokers from using e-cigarettes to quit ? UTM. I hope I'll be able to put it down below. But if not, if you go to gov.uk/government and then put e-cigarette, so it'll come to that page. I hope I'll be able to do it. Yeah, so that answered your question in regards to the morning coffee. Try it, you'll see I'm right. Okay, we'll go now to next question. Patrick, he writes, this is a question that I wanted to address. I ordered based on your reviews from naturallyextracttobacco.com. I am still waiting for it for over 2 weeks. I tried emailing them but no reply. Is their website legit? I live in LA. Okay, so Patrick, the question, to answer the question is they are legit. I already received from quite a few of my subscribers or viewers who left comments about this problem. This is a company who are a man and wife, and they do the orders fresh to order, and it takes them time to do it and deliver. Sometimes when there is a lot of work, they get a lot of orders, it takes long. But eventually you'll get it. I never heard of one customer that didn't receive it. They all receive it in the end, and it's worth waiting for. So the answer to your question is, yeah, they are legit. I've got maybe a few more minutes. I don't want to overdo it with the time here, but maybe I can just fit in a few more of the questions. Okay. Andrew asked the question, does higher wattage mean better flavor, and is it harmful to vape on higher wattage? The answer to your question is, it depends what flavor. It depends what e-liquid you're using. On tobacco, especially naturally extracted tobacco, higher wattage ruins the tobacco flavor. you do not vape naturally extracted tobacco on a sobo. It's best to vape it on a mouse to long. If you want to vape it on a sobo, obviously lower your nicotine and do not go higher than 30 maximum, 30 watts. If you like custard, creamy notes, then it is higher wattage. Fruity notes can be lower wattage. It all depends on the flavor you're vaping on. The creamier they are, the higher wattage, the better. But you come to a stage where you overdo it, you're going to get a very hot vape, and you're risking on burning your wick if it's an RDA, or the coil if you overdo the over recommended wattage. But within the recommended wattage is no problem. You can vape that high wattage. I always go below. I haven't got at the moment here the RDAs, now is my mouth too long during the day in downstairs. But I vape between 40 to 50 watts the max. I can't see much of a difference, even if I put in a 0.2 ohm coil or even a 0.18 coil, a 0.18, yeah. I can't see much of a difference on just more cloud, more vapor. I'm not interested in so much in the cloud, I'm interested in the flavor. And I can't see the advantage of vaping higher wattage. Is it unhealthy? I can't see why. I can't see why it shouldn't be unhealthy. It's only vapor. But obviously, if you are vaping on massive wattage, do not go higher than 3 milligrams nicotine. I vape on 6 milligrams on direct to lung because I do not do massive inhales. I take short inhales, but if you go like a massive inhale, then 6, you could overdo it with the nicotine. So go down to 3. Okay, Maguel is asking a question. I do not have time to go to a vape shop. How do I choose flavor online? Oh, I answered that before. Already. You have to take a chance. Look at my website. I uploaded, I don't know which flavors you're talking about, naturally extracted tobacco or fruit. I put quite a few my fruity selections and other dessert liquids. When this upload will be up, I'll have a few more. All those I vaped are delicious. You know what, drop me an email and I will tell you what I vape exactly, because a few liquids I didn't do a review on them and it's quite nice. I don't like doing too many reviews on fruit liquids because then I'm going to go into a path I'll never end. It's like so many thousands of flavors there. I don't want my channel to become a flavor only fruit liquid review. I'm not that type of reviewer at all. But only as something that I really enjoy, so I feel why shouldn't someone else enjoy it the same way I do. So send me an email and I'll give you a list of what liquids I like most. Okay, and believe me, I paid a good price for it. I've got a box full of liquids that I don't like and I give them away, so I know right, I think I'll manage to squeeze in maybe another 2-3 questions and then we'll have to do part 3. Margaret. Okay, let me just have a vape while I read. It's quite a long email. 1 second. Okay, you will love this one. Yeah, you will love this email. She sent it to me, so obviously she knew that I will repeat it. There's no names here, but it's something very sweet. Margaret, her name is, yes. I am 65-year-old grandmother and a smoker for many years, and I would like to go to a vaping shop. But if you don't mind, may I be direct? I feel intimidated by vapers I always see in the shop. And in brackets she writes tattooed and pierced folk surrounded in vapor. And I feel uncomfortable I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable. I am sure they are nice people, but that is the way I feel. What do you think, Net Vaper? Should I just pluck my courage and go in the shop? I love your reviews, Net Vaper. Thanks, Margaret. That's nice. I like that one. Margaret, vapers, there is all walks of life. Do I look tattooed and pierced to you? No. And what if I did? Tattoos do not define a person. It can be the nicest person in the world and he's covered in tattoos. And there is the most horrible, vicious person without tattoos. But one thing I can promise you, Margaret, all vapers would love to help you. Choose a kit. But you need to know not to fall into any trap of people giving you sub-ohms. Yeah. Some vapers who are so vaping for many years sub-ohms, they forgot about how was it when they first started vaping. And maybe they went straight to sub-ohm. I don't know. But as for a good starter kit, and you will see that these people, the tattooed and pierced folk you said, will be the most nicest and gentle help to you, and I'm sure you will come out smiling, and you will end up going to that vape shop constantly for coils and whatever you need. You have got nothing to worry about, Margaret. They will help you with an open heart. I have got no doubt about it. Okay, Margaret, let me know how you get on, and and I will update anyone who watched this review how you're getting on, Margaret. So please send me an email. Yeah. Okay, I think I will put in another question or two. We're 30 minutes in. Okay. Kevin asked me a question. I started vaping on NET based on your recommendations. I find the flavor to be awesome, but it only lasts for max of 2 days. Then I start getting a burnt flavor. Is that normal? And if not, what can I do about it? Yes, it's very normal. It's because your coil is becoming gonked up, and your coil, if you take out the coil, if you take out the wick now, you'll see it's black. When you vape naturally extracted tobacco, it has got something. The tobacco is a very strong ingredient that gonks up the coil 10 times more than the sweetest liquid that you can find. Therefore, the simplest solution is change your wick every 2 days, the way I do. Clean your coil by firing it, putting in water. You can watch my review on how to clean your coils. Very easy. Your flavor will stay on peak performance if you do that way. Okay, last question. I think I will. What do you recommend? RTA, direct to long? I mean RTA, not mouth to long. RTA or RDA? Well, it depends. If you don't have a problem carrying with you a bottle of juice, then you can take an RDA, and remember and then either you use temperature control mode that you won't burn your coil, you won't burn your cotton. So when you feel there's no vapor, you know that you need to saturate your coil. If you don't vape on temperature control, or you haven't got the wire for it, or whatever reason, and you only use wattage, then you need to remember to saturate your coil. If you vape on an RTA, you've got a tank, so there's no problem. If you want an RDA and you're still a bit forgetful and you don't want to take with you a whole bottle, either do a TC mode like I said, or use a squonking mod. So then every few times you get used to become a habit to squonk and get the liquid into the tank and to vape. So it all depends on your way of living, what you do for a living, and how you get on during the day. Do you have time to take liquid and put it in, or just squonk? So in a way, RDA, squonking, they all come with squonking pins. It's the ideal solution. You can go RDDTA or you can go RTA. So they're all good solution. All depends on your style of life. You have to think, would you want to carry through your bottle? If not, take a squonking. If you don't want a squonking because it might leak in your pocket or something, take an RTA. I think I will leave this as part 2. We will see how the emails come in henceforth, and then we'll decide if we make a part 3 or not. Until the next time, take care, enjoy your vape, bye-bye for now.